Hey everybody, welcome back. Got a taking a look at a couple of pens today. First one is going to be, it's by Conklin, and it's the Conklin Misto, and this one is the orange version. I think they do an orange green and maybe a purple. The orange one's the one I liked, and it actually really is great. It has a rose gold and black trim. On the cap band, we've got 1898. Oh, yeah, 1898, right? Yeah. And then on the clip, you've got Conklin. Pretty typical Conklin clip. And then you've got a little band design there. And the swirling colors are really great. You do have some chatoyancy there. And that goes all the way up and down. I'm sure you can see some of that. Yeah, even on the cap band there, that's pretty cool. It did come with a rose gold nib. I did not like that. So I did replace it with another Conklin, but this is the Conklin Black nib in medium. They do screw in and out, so they're nib units you can use. It is a cartridge converter. I do still have some black ink in there, and it's metal fitting, so no eyedroppering. That would have been great because that's a ton of ink it could have had. It does have a seal or a rubber, or excuse me, a plastic housing in there to seal the nib. Not sure exactly how great over time, but so far every time I picked it up, it does start right away. So that'll be the first pen. The second pen I want to take a look at is the Omar 88 by Opus, and this is the clear Demonstrator version. This is an eyedropper, and it does seal with by pulling this out. There's a little nub that goes into the feet section and does seal it. Obviously, pull it out, and you want to open it up a little bit just to get some ink in, or you can pull it out and let a lot of ink in there. Top of the pen is just a clear dome. It's got Opus 88 there. I like that clip. I think it's pretty cool. And a nice black matte band around there too. Nothing there. Just step down. Nice chunky pen, and then that same matte metal fitting there. Unscrew it, and those are really nice on this one. Clear section, a little frosted, and there's the medium nib. This, whatever they did with this seal, Opus did an awesome job. This pen has been sitting for, say, 6 months without opening the twist mechanism here and opening up the ink flow. The ink that was trapped in here, when I put that down to paper, it wrote right away. I just literally just touched it to the paper before doing the video just to see. So we'll see also if it continues to write really well. So let me just seal that up a little bit. Okay, so we'll do first writing a sample with this pen. We'll just check it out and see how it does. It does post, by the way. It's a little bit long, but it is secure. It's not going to come off, and it doesn't really make it too back heavy. Pretty comfortable, and I do like to post my pens, but not all of them, but if they can post reasonably, I do that. This again has the right now medium nib, super wet. I actually ordered a fine nib long ago, and I'm kind of bouncing between both of them, so I kind of swapped them. But it's a super wet pen. but really nice and bulky enough. It's kind of like the Omar 88. It's fun, and you see how wet this pen is. It's already starting to feather. On Leuchtturm, this is 80-gram paper. The 120 it does pretty good on, but it does feather on this one, this particular nib. When the fine is on, it does not. Now, if I use this on Tomoe River paper, there's no feathering. So, pretty good. Sorry, that was my on their bad angle there. So it does pretty good. I mean, I enjoy this pen. It's fun. It does lay down, like I said, a really thick line, and it's pretty heavy on the medium. But when I do the fine nib on this one, it's fantastic. It does lay down. Also, reverse writing with Conklin nibs. Again, this isn't particular to this pen. When we're talking about how it writes the line, I mean, we're talking specifically about the nib. A lot of times you'll see reviewers when they're looking at it, they kind of attribute sort of how the pen writes, but actually it boils down in many cases to the nib, which the nib's replaceable or what have you, in the feed as well. So very rarely is it the actual pen's fault. So it usually comes down to the feed or the nib if there's an issue with the writing. Most things can be resolved by adjusting the nib or the feed. And usually those are quality control, and those are the issues. So, and generally with the Conklin nibs, you can squeeze a little bit out. I mean, look at that. That's pretty good. This is a steel nib. So if I write lightly, and then I put a little bit of, so then I'm squeezing really pretty hard there. Just remember, if you're new to fountain pens, don't push it, don't jam it and push really forcefully on the nib. It will bend up and spring out, and it's hard to, if impossible, then to fix. So let's see. So that's the Misto. Okay, so that was the Misto. And I've got a drawing sample coming up with both of these pens. This is that Opus 88 Omar. Also, it does post. I'll show you. You can actually see where it does post. It ends up right about there. That's pretty secure. It's not really going to come off. And again, because it's plastic or resin, well, they're both the same. Resin is plastic, but because of the finish, there's no metal in it. It doesn't make it too back heavy, so that's pretty good. See, look at that. I haven't even opened up the valve yet. So this is all what was in the section in the feed for my last usage. 6 months ago? So this is the Demonstrator. This one does great. And this is also a medium nib. It's a medium Opus nib. And I think it's a JoWo. I'm going to say it is. JoWo nib. And it does unscrew, and it is replaceable number 6. Both are number 6 nibs. And replaceable. I've got my bulldog who's sleeping nearby. You'll hear that snoring. That's the bulldog. That's Bo. He is a bit of a snorer. That's terrible. I don't know what the heck I was doing there. Very smooth. This nib is a bit more stiff than the Conklin nib, so no pressure. A little bit I mean, it's extremely stiff, so you're really not gonna. If anything, you're gonna start digging into the page by separating the tines. So you don't want to do that. Generally, so when writing, you want to practice all the letters to make, especially when you get a new pen, new fountain pen with the nib, you want to write your letters all out to make sure there's no scratchiness on the direction that you're writing if you need to make any adjustments. When I'm drawing, I typically might forego that just to draw shapes. So basic shapes, if there's no sticking of the nib on any direction, I'll go back and forth and and then do my figure eights, see if I get anything on there, do my lines up and down. In many cases, some pens, especially when you get into the fine and extra fine, this upstroke is going to be a bit scratchier. When you have the medium and bold or broad nibs or double broads, or this upward stroke is okay. When I get medium nibs, typically on occasion I'll find an issue and I'll find some scratchiness going that direction, and then you can adjust the nib with a little bit of you can use some grit paper and then get rid of any of the bumps and that may exist there, or flaws in the nib. I like my nib to be very smooth. There's always a little bit of feedback generally, but I don't mind even like those without baby's bottom, but the really smooth nibs. I like those. But Opus, generally, it's hit or miss, but most of the ones that I get are good. I haven't really run across any kind of a bum nib or something terribly, or that scratches extremely often. So, yeah, this one has a bit of feedback, but very smooth. There's no catching on the paper, any of that. So I'm going to have a free-form video coming up soon where I'm going to be drawing with both of these pens. And I've got a few other pens to go over. I'm going to be using some of the Aurora pens, 88s that I have. I've got the Red Mamba, the Unicanera, and I've got the what is it? The Nira, the Demonstrator version of the 88, and also the Optima Demonstrator. I've got that in red, so that'll be fun too. Those are all, the nibs are basically the same on the 88s, but the Optima nib is interesting. It's steel, but super soft. We'll be using that as well. So we've got a few more videos coming up. Going to be posting next week, probably not with Thanksgiving, but the week after that we're going to be going to one video a week. So I look forward to that. I haven't decided what day of the week I'm going to be posting, but I'm going to try to keep that consistent. So I'll update later on in the next video once I've made my decision. Yeah, so these are great pens. This does come in different variations, variety, colors. I'm not a fan of any of the color ones. I find them really gaudy and weird. This one I did like was the Demonstrator. That was the only one I liked. So that's a great pen. This one is about as colorful as I like them, without being too much. Like the green was a little bit odd, and the purple I didn't care for that either. But I really liked the orange against the blue primary colors, and there's a whole bunch of colors in there, but I thought that was pretty cool. And I generally don't care for gold trim, or in this case rose gold, but I just, with this specific pen, I mean that's just awesome. I don't know, that clip little much, but that band is awesome. And that rose gold. So in this case, I don't mind it so much, but generally I tend to stay with either, like matte finishes, like black, or um, like chrome finishes. I like that. Um, that's just a personal preference, but there are a lot of people who like the gold trim and gold nibs and colored nibs. So to each their own. But anyway, these pens are great. I love them. I'm not sure if, like with the Misto, and this is like I said, a medium nib. That's nuts that I'm getting feathering with a medium nib on this paper. So I'm going to switch back to the fine with this one, fine nib. Again, not sure if this is just a problem. I call it a problem. Some people may not like that, but I call it a problem with the feed. Maybe there's the little cut inside the feed. Maybe it's a little bit too deep. Too much ink is coming in. I have no idea. Because it should. I mean, honestly, on a medium nib, I shouldn't be getting any feathering on 80 GSM paper. That's crazy. So anyway, not sure, but it doesn't feather on Tomoe River, and again, that's expected. Very few things do feather on Tomoe River. But what an awesome pen. Nice thing is they're replaceable. Usually with JoWo nibs, number 6s, there's a lot of choices. You could swap between brands too, so that's kind of cool. Like Leonardo, I've thrown a Leonardo into even like an Asvine, which is a Chinese pen on the less expensive end. But man, some of those Asvines are coming out. There's pretty darn good quality, and I can throw in a really high-end nib in those. So a lot of variety, which is cool. So I hope this was enjoyable. Maybe you got something out of it. You can look for the different variations of this pen. If this color doesn't go, you don't like it, same thing with this one, like I said before. But I can definitely recommend them. I think they're great. Yeah, so that's it. Leave a comment below if you got any questions, concerns, or any additional commentary that would add to this. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you next time. See ya.